At some point between your 20th and 25th birthday, something happened inside your body that nobody told you about. It did not hurt. You did not feel it. There was no moment where you noticed anything was different. But quietly, without any announcement, your skeleton flipped a switch that would affect the rest of your life. It stopped growing, not just stopped getting taller, stopped building, stopped adding, stopped strengthening. And what happens after that moment? What your bones do in the years and decades that follow is something that most people never think about until it is too late to do anything about it. If you are under 25, what you are about to hear is the most important thing you will ever learn about your skeleton, a window that is still open for you. If you are over 25, what you are about to hear will change the way you think about your body for the rest of your life. Either way, stay with me, because the story of how your bones grow, peak, and change over your lifetime is one of the most remarkable things happening inside you right now. To understand why your bones stop growing at 25, you first need to understand how they grew in the first place, because the process is far more extraordinary than most people realize. When you were born, your skeleton was not made of bone, not entirely. Much of it was cartilage, a soft, flexible, rubbery tissue that allowed your body to be compressed through the birth canal without shattering. Your skull in particular was deliberately soft. The bones of a newborn skull are not fused. They are separated by flexible gaps called fontanelles, the soft spots you can feel on a baby's head. This flexibility allowed the skull to compress slightly during birth and then expand back to shape afterward. But almost immediately after birth, a process began that would continue for the next 2.5 decades of your life: ossification, the transformation of cartilage into bone. Inside your growing bones were structures called growth plates, also known as epiphyseal plates. These were thin regions of cartilage located near the ends of your long bones, your femur, your tibia, your humerus, your radius. The growth plates were the engine of your height. Specialized cells called chondrocytes lived inside them, constantly dividing, constantly producing new cartilage on one side, while the cartilage on the other side was converted into bone. This process is what made you taller. Every centimeter of height you gained between birth and your early 20s came from these growth plates doing their job. And here's a secret. Not all your bones waited for you to grow up. Deep inside your ears, the malleus, incus, and stapes, the smallest bones you own, were already full adult size before you were even born. While every other bone in your body was still cartilage, the bones responsible for your hearing were already complete, already adult-sized. They are the only part of your skeleton that never had a growth window. The entire process of growing was orchestrated by hormones: growth hormone, thyroid hormones, and most critically during puberty, sex hormones, estrogen and testosterone. During puberty, these hormones flooded your body and caused the growth plates to accelerate dramatically. That is why teenagers grow so fast. But those same hormones also contain the signal that would eventually shut them down forever. As puberty progressed, the very hormones that were driving growth were simultaneously signaling the growth plates to slow down, to thin out, to prepare for closure. And then, sometime between the ages of 18 and 25, depending on your genetics and nutrition, the growth plates close. The kill switch is flipped. The cartilage of the growth plate is entirely replaced by bone. The plate disappears, and in its place is a thin line called the epiphyseal line. A permanent scar in the bone, a tombstone for your height. Once that line forms, that bone cannot grow longer, ever. The mechanism is gone. The factory has closed. This brings us to one of the most important concepts in bone science: peak bone mass. Think of your skeleton like a bank account. During childhood and adolescence, you were making deposits, adding density and building strength. Around your mid to late 20s, you reach the peak balance in that account, the maximum amount of bone you will ever have. And then, very slowly, the withdrawals begin. Now here is where this story becomes something more than just a warning, because while you cannot reopen a closed growth plate, you have far more control over what happens next than you realize. Remember Wolff's law: bone responds to the mechanical forces placed upon it. This law does not stop applying after 25. Weight-bearing exercise sends direct mechanical signals to your osteoblasts, telling them to build. You are making a deposit in a vault that everyone else is letting leak. Nutrition matters too. Calcium is the bricks, but vitamin D is the mortar. Without it, the calcium is useless. Your bones aren't just rocks, they are living, protein-rich tissues. Most people will live their entire lives inside a skeleton they never truly understood. That is what Huesos is here to change. Subscribe, because the next video reveals something about one specific bone in your body that scientists only fully understood in the last decade, and it will completely change the way you think about your own strength.